I am going to support you through whatever needs to be released. It can be quite a euphoric experience. It can be there can be tears. So I had an experience this week. I was doing a lot of intensive breath work. So I was doing this hour-long journeys on a daily basis, really, for about 6 days. And it was so interesting how the journey is kind of built upon the last journey. So whatever was sort of unfolded in one then sort of continued into the next, which was fascinating and really revelatory for me in my experience. So at one point I felt into this sense of self-love that I hadn't really offered myself ever before. Receiving love was something that was difficult for me because receiving love when I was a child didn't always feel safe. So in that understanding, and in understanding that in not receiving love from those around me or finding it difficult to receive, I was also blocking my own love to flow from myself. I was resisting even receiving my own self-love. And in that moment of understanding, there was a grief that came up, a deep, profound sense of loss of all of my life leading up to this point, having been in that resistance. And so there may be emotions that crop up, even though, as you see in my journey, it was structured around something really beautiful and something really transformative. There was still an emotional process to go through in order to kind of like clear the path for all of that to start to flow. And of course, whatever happens in the breathwork journey, you then need to continue to bring this into your awareness in your waking life, in your day-to-day experiences. So it's important to maintain that awareness afterwards so that you can really integrate the work that you're going to do. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you feel like you are ready to gain a little bit more control over your life, not to say that we need to have control, because really we need to let go and move more into the flow, but you see how your subconscious is actually controlling you. If 95% of your thoughts and actions are actually based on subconscious wavelengths, if you will, motivators, and those, so really gaining control over that, because as you bring more awareness to it, then it doesn't have to rule your life anymore, and you can get unstuck from those old patterns that aren't really in your conscious awareness at the moment. We all have them. It's just a fact of science. So really kind of going into that can allow you a greater sense of empowerment in your life, because you bring more awareness and you're able to actually transform yourself because you're accessing the healer within. What I do is instruct the breath, hold the safe container, create a sacred space, and use a lot of beautiful sensory support systems throughout your journey. So making sure that you are very comfortable in a sort of a nest-like experience, making sure that the energy of the space has been cleansed and created to support your journeying into your own inner wise one, using things like smudging herbs and essential oils to stimulate a beautiful olfactory experience, using sound, so drums and rattles and music, to help take you deeper into the journey, and support a release when one is maybe a little bit stuck and just waiting to come out. It's amazing how the senses really help us to go deeper into our experience. And then afterwards, I also assist you with the processing of your experience, to make sure sure that you feel like you have released everything that you need to release. I help you with any resistance that may have come up. I can help you as you try to integrate the experience into your life. And I can just support you emotionally through any experience that you have, and non-judgmentally and full of compassion and love. So I am the space holder to your own inner healing. So yeah, if you are interested in receiving a one-on-one session with me, at the moment I have some availability for free or donation-based breathwork journeys as I fulfill some of my post-requisites for my certification. So I would love to help support you through a breathwork journey. Also, one final thing to mention is just that you are in complete control of your experience, right? Because at any time you can just stop breathing or not stop breathing, but you can breathe through the experience, right? You could slow the breath if it felt too intense. It isn't really advisable to stop in the middle of a journey. It's better to breathe through it, but I can help support you through that at a gentler pace if things do feel too intense. Oh, and another thing to remember is that we're only shown what we're ready to receive and be shown. So it's very unlikely that anything that was like a very traumatic memory or experience will show itself to you. You may just feel like an understanding that that experience happened, or some healing understanding around any type of traumatic experience, but you will not be reliving that experience. That it's unlikely that that will happen unless you're really ready to do it. So there's really nothing to fear. It may sound a little bit intimidating at first, but once you've tried it, you will feel so empowered, so peaceful, so much greater awareness, so much lighter, so much more connection to all that is and the unfolding of everything for you in this life. So yeah, this was a little long, but hopefully I explained it in great detail, and I really would love to work with you. So we can talk more. Just let me know and I can give you a call and we can chat about setting up an appointment. Okay,